Hi, I'm Jack, and welcome back because I am going to talk about the recently released movie Reminiscence. It is directed by Lisa Joy and it stars Hugh Jackman, Rebecca Ferguson, Thandiwe Newton, and many more in this movie. Before we get started, don't forget to follow me on social media. My username is down below at the bottom of the screen. And this is a spoiler-free review. I am not going to talk about this movie in spoilers because it did come out recently. So have no fear. And with that said, let's get started. The movie follows Nicholas, played by Hugh Jackman, and he is a veteran who works in a very dangerous job, and he is able to give people the ability to access their dreams and their memories so they could relive some of the best moments with a technology of sorts. And he stumbles across a young woman named May, played by Rebecca Ferguson, and he develops a love affair with her and starts to fall in love with her. But then at one point, he wakes up, she's missing, and he tries to find her. But as his quest goes on, he finds out that she's not who he thinks she is and realizes that he's stumbling across a pretty dangerous conspiracy. To kick off the positives, I thought the acting is the best part about the movie. Hugh Jackman cannot do any wrong, nor could he give a bad performance, because I really liked him in this movie. I loved him as this character named Nicholas, and I loved his dynamic with Rebecca Ferguson and Thandiwe Newton's character, and all the people that he stumbles across throughout the film as he goes on this quest to find May. And I really liked the intensity and the character stuff that he brings. And he really does a great job in this movie. And even some of the more character moments really work well. And when it comes to some of the action sequences, I thought he delivers with that. And Rebecca Ferguson was also really great as the female lead in this movie who goes missing, and I liked how they use her character despite being the missing person herself. And I really love, of course, some of the romance scenes with her and Hugh Jackman, and plus they've also been in The Greatest Showman together, and I really liked, of course, how she ties into the story. I liked kind of the twist they've done with her, and I really liked her overall. I thought the rest of the cast was really good as well, but Hugh Jackman and Rebecca Ferguson were the standout characters. The second thing I really liked about this movie is obviously the visual effects. I thought this is one of the visually better looking films I've seen this year. They look really great, and because of the setting and the concept that it's telling, I thought the visuals really looked great for that, whether it's in a more like a memory sequence or if it's modern day, or especially when they're living in a world where like the ocean or the water covers the ground of sorts or all that. And I really liked that, and I thought they did a really good job with the visual effects. It feels really real, and because this is directed by Lisa Joy, who is related to Christopher Nolan, that it feels like something you could find from a Nolan movie in terms of the visuals. And number three, I really liked the action sequences. I thought they were great, especially in the middle half of the movie as the story's in motion, and I really liked how they look. They're shot well for the most part, even though there are a few minor changes I would have made and just to some of the editing, but the action was still good. They were entertaining to watch, so that's cool. And plus, it's Hugh Jackman. He played Wolverine, and he can't do wrong with action, so it's obviously going to be a highlight. And the next thing I would say is it has a really good concept because it deals with people with memories and how they can access memories to like find something of sorts and all that. Because in the movie it's told they use this kind of technology for crimes, and so using it for memories I think was an interesting idea for a sci-fi movie like this. While on a visual scale and on the terms of acting, while it's great there, I thought story-wise, I don't think it lived up to that area of the movie because I thought the pacing primarily was very inconsistent. I thought those first 20 minutes flew fine, but then once the mystery stuff starts to kick in, then it drags way too much and it feels like it really slows down. It feels like it should be a lot more fast moving. And it kind of hurts the movie because at times it's like you're not getting so invested with what's happening because of the pacing. And it was a bummer because there were some great moments when it comes to the characters here and there. Even emotional moments I thought worked for the most part. But I thought the pacing was really rough in this movie, and that could have used a little bit more work. And the third act I thought was good. I thought that was paced fine, but that middle, I thought the pacing just was not that great for this movie, and that's one of the biggest issues I have with the movie. The next issue I have is the fact that the story wasn't executed all that well. While I mentioned it had an interesting concept as a story, it should have worked, but it didn't as well as it could have because it felt too similar to movies like Inception because of the whole people accessing dreams and all that stuff. And it felt too much like it's trying to be an Inception movie, and it just did not live up to that because it was trying to be a little too much of Inception, but not so much of Reminiscence of what it could have been. And so when I sat there, it felt kind of like a generic mystery movie that you might have seen several times, like I have. And because of it, it just kind of takes away some of the originality moments that I like from the movie. And it also just comes off as kind of like something you've already seen before. And I didn't think that part worked for me. And I thought the character development in the movie wasn't all that strong either, which is a shame because you have really talented actors like Hugh Jackman and Rebecca Ferguson and Thandiwe Newton and Daniel Wu all together. And the character development, I couldn't connect with the characters all that much because we don't know too much about them. Like with Nicholas, who we know he's a veteran, we know he specializes in this kind of stuff and all that, but we don't know too much about him, and neither do we know as we start to learn a little bit about May over the course of the movie. But it's just the fact that because some of these characters felt like here's their part in the story and this is that, I couldn't really connect all that much, and they didn't have as much development, and it was a bit of a bummer because there are some things where it's like character moments. They were great moments here and there with them, but when it comes to development from beginning to end of the movie, I didn't feel like there was as much of it as the movie could have had. This is also a movie that should have been better marketed because I've only seen very few trailers before it came out, and I heard the movie isn't doing that great, and I think it's because they needed to do a much better marketing job with this movie because the marketing is important, man. You need it. So, yeah, I feel bad for the movie in terms of that because, again, a lot of people I know didn't even know this movie was a thing until now. So, yeah, but overall, I thought Reminiscence was all right. It had a lot of wasted potential, and it had a lot of moments that could have made it great, but I think this is a movie where the sum of its parts are better than the movie as a whole. I'm going to give Reminiscence a C. And it's a movie that I recommend for fans of the genre and actors only. Those are my thoughts on Reminiscence. What did you think about this movie? I'd love to hear your comments down below in the comment section. Oh, and before you go, don't forget to follow me on social media. My username is down below in the bottom of the screen. So don't forget to do that while you're at it. And thank you guys so much for watching. And don't forget to hit that like button and the subscribe button. And stay tuned for more.
Before the illusion's broken.
You're going on a journey. All you have to do is follow my voice.